You buy that here?
No, I bought it in the donut shop because I was going to eat it in the elevator, but then I saw my friend here, and, I'm really terribly sorry. Oh, let me see. Let's see now.
I can come back.
No, I'll have a donut.
I was lying before. I didn't like Claire very much. I haven't for years. Which doesn't mean to say I wasn't shocked by the news of her death. I was. And I was still a little bit shook up when you first walked in, so I said whatever sounded right to a detective. Some other detective, not you. Please sit down. Properties. Glass for the lieutenant, please.
Yes, sir.
You had me absolutely fooled, sir.
Really?
Scout's honor.
Even after you asked a few questions around the set? Thank you. Our fights, Claire's and mine, weren't always discreet. And some of them were overheard, I believe. You must have been told by the crew.
You know how people talk.
Yes, I do. I know exactly how they talk.
But gossip doesn't mean anything, sir, does it, one way or another? I mean, we still don't have anything to go on except the fact that the killer hit the bullseye from 30 feet.
If he hit the bullseye, Lieutenant.
What do you mean, sir?
I mean that there's as good a chance of a man hitting the shoulder as there is of his hitting the heart. Which leads us to another theory. We're going to assume that our man is a robber with no prior intent to kill anyone. And we're also going to take into account the fact that a bullet aimed high at the back has a better than 28% chance of killing the victim by hitting a vital organ in a crime that is not premeditated by a robber who is not an expert marksman. Now, what do you think the odds rise to if the man is an expert marksman? Do you think an ex-mercenary, a kid hung up on guns, a former policeman, shoot at still targets? No. Part of being an expert marksman is hitting a moving target. And a man who is accustomed to firearms enough to be an expert marksman is often in a situation of panic.
It's brilliant, sir.
Do you think it's insensitive of me to take a vocal lesson so soon after my husband passed away?
No, ma'am.
You see, I'm planning to resume my career. Henry would have wanted that. And besides, I find it a blessing to be able to turn to a song or a dance when faced by tragedy.
Oh, it is a blessing. You're very lucky. You have a great talent that affords you an outlet.
Thank you.
Me, when I'm down in the dumps, I go bowling.
We all need something. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, yes, and thank you very much, ma'am. You've been very helpful.
You must come by some evening and see one of my films. I have a print of all of them, and you can choose your favorite. And be sure to bring your wife.
Oh, thank you. That's a date. She'll probably faint.
Lieutenant, that is not a good picture. The exposure is way too light. The framing is off. Everything's way off center. The framing. It's not a good picture, Lieutenant.
You know, you're right. You see, now that you mention it, I see what you... Well, it goes to show you what a bad photographer I am. I guess Mr. Deschler's like you.
What do you mean, like me?
Well, I mean, he must have been unhappy with it. I mean, a perfectionist like you. Otherwise, why would he take another one?
Well, Lieutenant, photographic composition is talent. You're born with it, and you obviously don't have it.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you there. But, you know, I wish I had that ability. Because next month, well, I think I mentioned this to you. My brother-in-law, next month he's celebrating his 20th anniversary party, and actually I was thinking, I don't know whether I should bring it up or not. You know, if you're not doing anything, could you drop by and take a few pictures? It's nothing fancy, but we all have a good time. We got a big spread there, and the old fellas, they play bocce ball, and...
Lieutenant, I'm afraid that's impossible. First of all, I don't just drop by and take pictures. And secondly, I'm leaving on my Philippine trip next Wednesday.
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't realize it was that soon. You got a second? You know what I've been learning a little about? Suture.
Suture.
Fascinating. You going somewhere?
As a matter of fact, I was.
Yeah, I don't want to hold you up. But I found out all about the different kinds. You know, they have permanent suture, and that there's dissolving suture.
Exactly what is your point, Lieutenant?
I'm not sure I have one. You going down? But for instance, you take Dr. Heideman's operation. For an example, suppose somebody used dissolving sutures to tie up things in his heart when they were supposed to be using permanent sutures. Like that valve that you put in. I mean, the stitches in there, they would give way in a few days, wouldn't they? Would kill them, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
See, now, I don't know anything about operating on anybody. I don't know anything like that, but with this fellow's heart condition the way it was, wouldn't everybody just think he died of heart failure?
A surgeon wouldn't make a mistake like that. Dissolving suture is an entirely different color.
Lieutenant, would you like some hot chocolate?
Oh, I like that very much. Very much.
Soda.
There'll just be a few more questions, miss.
Ernest.
Did you know Dr. Hunter?
Sure. He was around a lot.
When you say you had the place to yourself, did you take care of the dogs?
Well, sometimes. They were terrific company. But Saturdays or Sundays, sometimes both days, Eric took them.
To the Institute, miss?
No. He hasn't worked weekends since Mrs. Mason died.
Why don't we just sit down? You, me, and Sigmund.
Why didn't I think of that?
Well, we have similar jobs in a way. I wear a uniform, you wear a... I suppose you could call that a uniform. Used to tell my cadets, you know, all the time. Sometimes it's harder to be a slob than to be neat and tidy and clean. It's the wars, you see, the wars. Going nations. When that stops, hang up the uniform. I'll hang up my uniform. I'll go and take care of my backyard. I got some roses. White roses. And I suppose that when people stop abusing each other, you'll hang up your uniform.
This is a first-rate cigar.
You have a light? You didn't really try it yet.
What you were saying, I talk about that kind of thing with my wife. She reads a lot.
Excuse me.
Aren't you afraid being up here alone with a killer?
No, sir. No, sir, I had the feeling that sooner or later... Sooner or later, you would have confessed, even if I hadn't caught you.
Yeah, you're right, Lieutenant. I would have. Because it was getting to me, and I'm glad it's over.
Listen. Any man that can sing like that can't be all bad.
Just one more thing.